Welcome to the Omaha Magazine podcast. It's about all of us, where we highlight Omaha business and community leaders, arts and culture, and where to dine and play. I'm Gil Cohen, Executive Vice President of Sales and Marketing at Omaha Magazine. The Metropolitan Entertainment and Convention Authority, better known as MECA, oversees the operations of the CHI Health Center, Charles Schwab Field, Heartland America Park, and Jean Leahy Mall. On this episode, we're joined by Roger Dixon, President and CEO of MECA, to share with us the recent bond issue that will expand the convention center to attract over $1 billion in new revenue to the Omaha area. Well, welcome back to our podcast. It's about all of us. Our special guest this afternoon, I always say this, could be morning, could be evening, whenever you're watching the podcast, but Roger Dixon, who is the president of MECA, which stands for the Metropolitan Entertainment Convention Authority. Roger, welcome to our podcast.
Thank you. Good being here.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming out. I do have something I got to do before we start. I've only done this one other time. We have a little prop because I know Roger is a cigar fan.
Can we smoke them?
We can't smoke them here, but you can. And I don't want it back. You can keep it. Take it with you. Yeah.
Nice
the only other guest that got one of those was Sandy Buddha. So you're in elite class, or he's in elite class, one of the two.
Well, you know he works for us.
I know he does. When I told him you were coming on today, he was all excited.
He's I call him Coach.
Yeah.
Because I was not here when he was at UNO, nor was I here when he was at the Beef. I don't think. Maybe.
Yeah,
I'm not sure, but I didn't get to know him until someone said, "You know who that is?" And I said, "Yeah, he's one of our crowd managers." He says, "No, that's Sandy Buddha." And I said, "The football coach?" So,
yeah,
I look out for Coach.
Yeah, and so you've been here since the CHI Health Center opened in 2003, correct?
September 2003.
Right.
I came to Omaha in September of 2000.
Okay. So, and we've known each other probably going on 20-something years.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Basically so. Because and when I came into town, you were a hotelier.
Yeah. I gave that up.
You got smart. And nothing against my hotel operating friends. So.
Yeah. No, I guess I must have gotten smart because I've since torn my hotel down. So
I thought at one point they were going to build something back there.
There was supposed to be one, but I don't know where that's gone. Maybe they'll still do that.
It's a nice open lot, and that's a busy interchange now.
So first question I got to start out with, because it's the rumor that I've been hearing for the last couple of weeks: Tampa Bay Devil Rays coming to Omaha. Now remember, this isn't going to air till mid-February, so
okay. So we've heard the same rumors.
Right.
I've had a lot of calls.
I don't mean to catch you off guard, but
no. Hey, this is wide open.
Okay.
We've had a lot of calls. None of them from Tampa Bay.
Right.
All local people. As I understand it, and this is totally out of the media of whatever.
Right.
They are playing this coming season at the
Yankee Stadium.
Yankees spring training, and there's the minor league at 1A
right.
league, and it's the Terrapins that play there,
right?
Which kind of is similar to what Oakland did.
Yeah.
Out in California, they went 90 miles east and played at I don't think it's their minor league team, but it's kind of still in the same market. And that's what makes sense. Now, today I heard that there is a vote coming in St. Petersburg, and it's the county that owns that facility, on whether they're going to build a new stadium or what. I heard as well as the dome that got hit by the hurricane was beyond repair. Now, that's just what I've heard. I'm not claiming to be an expert on it, but
it was beyond repair before it lost the roof.
I think it's 40 plus years old. I mean, I think it was right behind the Astrodome in Houston, I think. I don't know.
Been there several times. It's a depressing stadium, unfortunately.
And it is, and it's very narrow concourses.
Yeah.
I did events in there back in my younger days in the industry. But anyway, so what's going to happen? The media also says that they may not be welcome back in the minor league park the following season. So that means, what are they going to go? And how long is it going to take for them to build the stadium? My guess is 3+ years.
Probably.
They're going to have to play somewhere. Whether they come here, most people don't realize this is the Kansas City Royals market.
Right.
And the Royals would have to bless it. I'm not sure what say the Storm Chasers would have over that.
Oh, sure.
They may be whispering in the Royals' ear, we don't want that play here. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Are we willing to talk to anybody? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But they're going to have to
parts there.
There are a lot, because we got Creighton that plays their baseball season with us. We've got
College
Big
World
Ten
Series
that does their conference tournament with us, and of course we got the Men's College World Series.
Yeah, so they'd have to be on the road. A lot of moving parts in there.
A lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
But, to say, is there a chance?
Yeah,
there's a chance.
There's a chance
we're going to get a hurricane off the Missouri River, too.
Hopefully that doesn't happen.
I don't think so.
Probably a better chance of a tornado. I have several friends that are already, they want to figure out where to sign up for season tickets if they come up here. So I don't know.
That'll be a nice problem to have.
Yeah. Well, you heard it from the source here. Nothing's happening, or at least not today, which is December.
I've talked to
17th.
Media people. I've talked to city councilmen. I've talked to the mayor's staff.
Yeah.
And we don't hear anything. And they're not hearing anything either.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that takes on. It's got talks behind the scenes before they even decide they want to.
Well, they really have to talk to the Major League Baseball, the Conference League office.
Yeah. They have to approve it.
They're going to have to talk to Kansas City.
Yeah.
That's just my assumption.
Yeah, that makes sense. So CHI Health Center opened up in 2003. You've been here for, 27 years? Is that right?
Oh, no. I've been here 24.
24?
In September of next year, I'll be here 25 years.
Wow. Longest
I've lived in one place in my entire life, including growing up.
Wow. Yeah, that makes two of us. I've been out here almost 30 years now too. So, yeah, and you and Robin must love Omaha.
Well, you know what? I heard it today, and I was talking with one of the guys that runs a fairly large company here in Omaha. He says getting them here is a problem, but once they get here, they don't want to leave.
Yeah,
and that's kind of Robin and I, because I thought I'd come in, build then Quest Center, now CHI Health Center, and set it up, and a couple of years later be moving on to something bigger and better. Every time I thought maybe it's time, be a new project, expand the arena, build a baseball stadium, build a park.
Yeah.
Now expand a convention center. So there is a light at the end of the tunnel here.
Right. Yeah. But you're not ready for that yet.
No, not yet.
No, I don't think you're too young. So let's talk about a couple of things with the CHI Center. Obviously, in November of this year, the bond issue was passed for you to be able to do your expansion there. Why don't you talk about the expansion? And I know people have seen it in the news, but
so we have always known, and most of the people in the hospitality industry here in Omaha, we just don't have enough meeting space in the convention center. And we've been talking about this, as far as serious talks for the past 3-4 years, and kind of kept it under the screen because we didn't want everybody to say, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah.
And we came up with a design, and we just felt we had to get it done. So we did all the due diligence in advance. We know it's going to be built. It's going to be built on the east side of the convention center.
Right.
It's going to be up over the loading docks back there. We're going to add another 25 meeting rooms, smaller breakout rooms that'll complement what we've not had, and it's going to be state of the art. I think one thing that I'm most excited about is the fact that if you're over at the Luminarium, the very nice museum, science museum they built over there, and Lewis and Clark Landing, and the money that the Riverfront project put in there that we apps happen to manage as well. You look over and you see our loading dock.
Right.
And now
it
with
just takes
this
away
new,
from now.
Yeah, in this new addition, it'll actually look like you're looking at the front of the building.
Right.
And it's still going to be functioning as a back end of the building, but it just won't look that way. And all the meeting space, it'll be 2 levels that enter off. You're on the meeting room level in the existing convention center, back by the junior ballroom, which is on the east side, has the view out over the river. It'll go out there and then go down 1 level.
And there would have been no reason back in 2001 to have had that addition because nothing was going on behind the convention center at that time. And without being open, I would think, and getting some history of who wants to come to Omaha and who can fit in Omaha. And you didn't have the couple of hotels back then. And
back in 2010, 11, 12, we actually looked at expanding the convention, the exhibit space, and building a larger ballroom over that and going out into the north lawn.
Okay.
And the more we talked about it and thought about it, that just didn't make sense.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So, and it never got anywhere. Actually, we still have the preliminary plans of what it looked like. Yeah. And it would have been nice to have a 35, 40,000 square foot ballroom.
Yeah.
Because right now we're the largest in the city by about maybe 1,000, 1,500 square feet over the La Vista project. But, I don't know that there's a demand for that much more meeting space of that size.
Yeah. And it probably depends on what cities we're competing with. And that's obviously your team and the Convention and Visitors Bureau team to kind of coordinate, hey, we'd like to get this piece of business, but we don't have the space. We'd like to get, those are all things that have probably happened over the last 20-something years.
Well, part of the due diligence of doing this, Visit Omaha, commissioned a study, and that went out, and this group actually went out and had conversations with meeting planners and said, okay, if this is what this facility was, how likely would you be to utilize that?
Right.
And they came back and they said it's $1.2 billion in potential additional business that could. Now, we're not going to get it all, but that's what's going to drive the city as far as a convention destination. It's going to drive the need for another full-service hotel or an expansion of one, whatever they think they need to do.
Yeah.
We need another, I always say 600 to 800 rooms.
Yeah.
I think realistically it'll be 400, maybe to 600.
Now, would that be across what is that, Lot B that's north of the Hilton? Or?
Lot B would be the site for it, but the part of that has to be, Lot B has been designated as a development site, but the person or a group that develops it has to develop the entire whole lot, and
they're on the hook for the whole thing.
The city would build a garage on Lot D to replace the parking for that is lost in Lot B, but it has to be a multi-purpose use, potentially a hotel, definitely living, definitely commercial.
Wow. That'll be that would be some project down there, and it would as people drive into the city now, you see the ballpark, you see the convention center, you see the 2 hotels. Pretty soon they'll see the skyline with Mutual Omaha. It just creates that.
I think with everything this city's doing, with the redoing the downtown parks into the riverfront, the streetcar, whether you're a fan for it or against it, it's going to add some vibrance to the community.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have some of these developments if we wasn't for the streetcar. Twin Towers wouldn't be developed. Mutual Omaha wouldn't be building.
I totally agree with you. I have people that still don't understand it. I had the mayor here a few episodes ago, and I asked her to explain. And I'm going to ask you in a second also explain the funding, because I think that I can explain the necessity for building it now and having it. I didn't understand how the funding was going to be. And she explained it. It's no tax dollars out of anybody's pocket. It's, private public partner or the bonds. And
there are going to be revenue bonds that are generated. And I'm not near, the mayor is the person to talk about that.
Yeah,
Steve Jensen is the other person.
I wouldn't ask you that.
But part of this is it's all driven off of TIF.
Right.
And it's down at Farnham and Harney. And some people question whether or not, how do you do TIF? Well, that's, they've declared it blighted areas.
Yes.
And if you drive down them, it's not sparkling clean down there. It's a little rough.
Yeah, sometimes
it's kind of like what Blackstone used to be 10,
before.
15 years ago. Look at it now.
Yeah, a lot of money has been invested there. And obviously that streetcar is going to add to the fabric of the Blackstone district. And then, assuming at some point they expand it from 10th Street to the CHI Health Center and then maybe to the airport at some time. And
I think they have plans. I know there's desire for it to go north and south as well. And I can give you an example because, it's been almost 5 years that I left St. Louis.
Right.
But when I left St. Louis, they had the Metro link there that went from the corner right out in front of then Kiel Center to the airport and back. And that's all it did. Now it goes all the way over into almost Belleville in Illinois. I think it goes into Clayton now.
Okay.
It goes south. So there's been at least 2 or 3 additional additions put to that. Kansas City is adding to theirs. And I spent a weekend in Kansas City last summer, and I was amazed. Got on their streetcar, packed.
Was it really?
And there was new areas. Used to be Plaza was the area you went to.
Right.
Now I think it's called West Market, which is more north of the Plaza.
It's not
area.
Westport, West Market.
No, it's West Market, not Westport.
That's new. I haven't been down there for a while.
And it was kind of a real cool area, a little bohemian, of great restaurants.
Cool.
But you got off the streetcar, went into the restaurant, and walked around, and you got right back on, took it right back where you wanted to be.
So let's go back to part of the with the CHI Center with the funding. What was it, about $290 million project? In today's dollars, probably be $500 million or more, wouldn't it, to build the same?
So we built 1 million square feet. Actually, it was a $290 million project. That's also to buy the land from Union Pacific, which was $25,000, and then it was $85 million for the city to do all the infrastructure around the project. And so I think the actual cost for the Arena Convention Center, as it was known back then, I want to say 190 some million. And that math doesn't add up, but it was somewhere in that project. But the cost for the expansion, and it was 1 million square feet back. And so the cost for the expansion, which is 256,000 square feet, is 175 million. So that's just the difference in cost.
Yeah,
we're billing,
the current expansion, the new cost for the current expansion,
175 million.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
And we're going to raise another 25 million, so it's going to be a $200 million project.
When you say raise, this is private money coming in, correct, or sponsorship investment money?
Half of it will be private. Half of it came in from the bond issue that fortunately the citizens of Omaha saw the wisdom in
smart enough to say, yeah, we need to do this.
Yeah, we need to do this. And it was tied to several law enforcement, firefighters, and some of the facilities they needed. But, we're building a quarter of the facility for not too much different cost in the dollar.
It's amazing the cost of construction over 20-something years.
It's just crazy. It's crazy.
And so one of the questions my friend of mine had was paying back the original. You guys were scheduled, if I understand correctly, to pay that back by 2027. Is that correct, or am I wrong with that?
No, you're absolutely right. The bonds will be paid off in 2027, and
then you have to refinance
every year.
The new bond is
the city pays off some portion of some of the bonds they have.
Yeah.
And then reinvest the money. And I think that if you would ask, the city finance department, It's just
It's ongoing.
It's a continuation. So they're always paying off bonds and reinvesting the money. And the only way this city is going to grow is they have to continue to invest in it.
Yeah, if you just stay stagnant, and the mayor mentioned this the other day at a function I was at with her, if you just stay the way you are, you'll never grow. And if you don't take the initiative to grow, like you guys are doing with the expansion now and or the streetcar, you wait 10 years, you can see what the cost difference would be. It'd probably double what the investment is now.
And there was a talk probably, beginning of this year, why do this now? Let's wait another couple of years. That's all you're going to do is we're going to miss more business, and the cost is construction is going to increase.
Yeah.
And, right now, the numbers are coming in on target.
Right.
So we're pleased about that. We're going to start construction January 6th. We're going to break the ground up in the back docks and start prepping for drive the pilings so we can build the structure.
Get it done. Is MECA an unusual authority for these types of businesses, or is that I know that you were at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. I was probably going to Flyers games when you were running the place, but are we unique with MECA in terms of other cities doing what you do?
Kind of, but not really. I mean,
MECA's a nonprofit.
We are a 501c3, but we don't have taxing authority.
Right. Okay.
So there are other entities out there. The one that comes to mind is Milwaukee.
Okay.
And their convention center district, that's run by an authority. Happen to know the gentleman that runs that project, and they are finishing up on a major expansion there. But they're an authority similar to the airport, where they can levy tax.
Oh, okay.
And that's how they fund what they do. So,
so yours are bonds, but then you're also getting money from if I understand correctly, from hotel tax too. Isn't there some, what do they call it, turnback or?
Turnback tax, we don't receive any of that.
You're not getting any of that.
And that goes to the city to pay off. It goes back into the general fund, which pays off all the bonds. So.
Oh, all right. So in a roundabout way.
Roundabout way, yes,
Gotcha.
It does.
Okay.
But the city contributed to the $290 million. 75 million of it came in from the private sector.
Okay.
The city bonded the rest of it.
Yeah.
On this project, 200 million. 100 million's coming in from the city. We're out raising the other 100 from the philanthropic community.
Yeah, and that's your job.
So far, that's going very good.
That's your job is to go out and find that.
And you know what? You're
not sending Jeff Okrina out doing that, are you?
No. Jeff's good at selling ice cubes and sweets and seats. I don't know that I'd want him out asking for money.
That's fine.
Nothing against Jeff.
Nothing against Jeff.
He's a great staff. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
But most people don't realize how philanthropic this community is. I was simply blown away.
Comment was,
the amount of private sector money that's donated to projects here, and I've been in this business 48 years, soon to be 49, and I've never been in a community that the facilities weren't built by the municipalities.
You can name them all. You can, the
or
Holland
private
Center.
sector.
Yeah. Much of the big expansion with arts and entertainment have, a huge portion of it has been from philanthropic dollars coming in or matching dollars where the community says.
I mean, Holland Center, 100%. Steelhouse, 100%.
Yep, and that's something. It's an engagement center.
Henry Doorly Zoo, 100% of that is from, the philanthropic. And they do a nice job of how they operate the zoo. And, it's one of the best zoos in the country.
Yeah, we're lucky here.
As I said, once people get in Omaha, it's hard to get them out of here.
It's hard to get them. Yeah, I totally understand it. So in your 20-something years at the CHI Center, what are some highlights? What are some of the things, other than the buildings and things like that, anything stand out in your 20 years here, events at the health center or?
it's we did a town hall with George Bush, President Bush,
right?
When he first got elected. That was prior to
9/11.
9/11. We've just done. We've been the home for the Berkshire Hathaway shareholders meeting every year, and that's a spectacle.
Yeah.
That is probably one of the coolest events. And
you meet people from all over the world.
All over the world, and it's there. There's 30,000, 40,000 people that come streaming in, and they want to listen to Warren Buffett and Mr. Munger. Unfortunately, not there anymore. But that's a happening. And I guess the biggest thrill, because when I came to Omaha, I'd been in the business 20 plus years already, and I'd been in Louisville, Kentucky, Miami, Florida, St. Louis, Philadelphia, back, and so I knew a lot of the rock and roll promoters out there.
Right.
And I had conversations with some, and they said, "We never could make any money in Omaha. Why are you going there?" And I said, "Well, this is going to be a little bit different project." And it was interesting, the process that we went through, because we were going from I think the Civic Auditorium may get up to 9,000 for a concert.
Yeah, if that.
And so we first opened up, it was 16, almost 17,000 seats, and we couldn't get promoters to come here. They were a little reluctant. So we kind of pushed and got our own in, and they finally came back and said, "You guys are out of the promotion business," because we were making money on shows in Omaha. They weren't making money out when they were touring. And in today's world, it's Live Nation is the largest, and they probably do 90% of our shows. And then you got AEG, and then there's some smaller ones out there that do it. But we do a lot more business. But to see this city grow as far as the concerts that we would draw, and our community supporting them by buying tickets, is always we acted like a major market, but we're a secondary market.
Well, don't you think people in Omaha were kind of craving something in the surrounding area too? It was either that or they had to go to Kansas City, 3 hours away. Where else would they have gone to see the Rolling Stones or wherever?
That's what I heard when I got here. I'm tired of driving to Ames. I'm tired of driving to Kansas City. I'm tired of driving to Denver to see concerts. I want to see something here. And we kind of hit it. And, Tom O'Gorman came with me. We were both in Cincinnati kind of babysitting the old Riverfront Coliseum, which is still functioning arena. And I got the call for the job, and I accepted it. And I went back and I said,
"You're coming with me.
You're coming with me if you want to."
So, I don't blame you. Tommy's a great guy.
And so he's been here as long as I have. And it's most of my staff has been with us for quite a few years. I mean, it's...
Yeah, well, that's a credit to your management style,
well,
obviously.
It's thank you.
And vision.
It's
people
just
like to work for somebody that has a vision, and
I like to see things. I like to see things prosper.
Yeah.
I've always been good about hiring people that this is your job, and as long as you're doing it, you won't hear a lot from me. But if you're not, you're going to hear a lot from me for a little bit.
What is there anything? Just going back on the your tenure here, is there anybody that we haven't, anything that hasn't happened here that you would like to see, or anything? I mean, you got so many different projects. Obviously, the new park, Heartland America Park, and Gene Leahy Mall is phenomenal. I mean, the staff down there is great. You've pushed out most of the homeless people.
No,
sent them down to Howard Street.
They're still here. I mean, the homeless issue is
and
an
that's
issue
a bad.
I'm
not joking about that.
No, and Katie Bassett and her staff.
Right.
They are a challenge.
Yeah.
They're a challenge there, but
the park is it's safe to walk around now.
It's safe to walk around.
It's well lit. You got great amenities down there, fire pits,
and it's
tables.
open to everybody. I don't care if you're homeless or not. And it's been a good thing for what has happened there. Katie and her staff have done a great job, and we're fortunate that this community, again, it's a $400 million project. All but 50 of it was private.
It was private, yeah. Isn't that incredible?
It's crazy.
Yeah. But something had to happen down there. I mean, it was an obsolete park.
And it was driven by Ken Stinson and Mullins by, and they're, those guys had the vision.
Yeah.
And whether
and
or
the
not,
financial resources to.
Well, and they knew the right doors to knock on.
Exactly. Anything that you want to tell our listeners and viewers, anything that we didn't talk about, or anything you want to talk about that we missed?
You know what? We could be here for days doing that, but it's.
Myron, is that all right? Days?
we've got covered most of the major issues.
Yeah.
We've got a great community, and we've got a great facility, and we're fortunate the community supports it.
Right.
They support the riverfront. They support the Charles Schwab Field, and only thing I'll say is we get occasionally a loose screw that will talk about, why don't we have baseball here? Well, they don't want to play. We don't chase them away. They just don't come because, number one,
we did have that one, and that wasn't even an exhibition game because I was there. It was the Tigers and the Royals, wasn't it?
That was a regular season game.
Yeah, it was a regular season game.
But they want a minor league team there.
Oh.
And it's too big of a stadium for a minor league.
Right.
And
you got the Storm Chasers right there.
The Storm Chasers are there. Actually, we did a study back in about 2008, and there was no appetite for additional baseball here. But you know what? The naysayers out there, they don't want to hear about that.
Yeah.
We want MECA to have baseball there. Well, we do. We got Creighton baseball, we got Big Ten baseball, and then we got Men's College World Series.
Yeah, and there's
and
nothing
now
wrong with all that.
Last year we had a high school tournament. It was kind of cool, and it's in its growing stages. Where they're trying to bring it back this coming year.
Right.
So we'll see. But hey,
just keep on doing what you're doing. You're doing a great job. I've been fortunate to be friends with you since when you got here, and appreciate your support of everything that we do at the magazine, and appreciate you coming on the podcast today and kind of telling our listeners what's going on down on the riverfront.
Goes quickly.
Time flies, doesn't it?
Oh, boy. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome, Roger. Thank you, and you enjoy that stick later on.
I love it. It's nice. Nice Caribbean cigar.
Yes, we'll call it Caribbean. Thanks, Roger. Appreciate it. Thanks again for joining us today. Remember to hit that like and subscribe button so you'll never miss an episode.